Hi everybody, I'm trying this new thing on the Improv Boost where I'm going to create these things called improv-toons. Improv plus cartoons, not like songs. And what I'm going to try to do is introduce formats and maybe some improv theories that are best, because I'm a kinesthetic learner. I need to be there. I can't learn auditorially, and I thought other people might be like me, and maybe they need to learn visually. So that's why I've developed these cartoons and the audio to go over it. So my goal is to bring these formats for free to wherever you are in the world. If there's an improv team in Tokyo, an improv team in India, and they may not have access to the American teachers as I did, at least you can explore these formats and explore some of these ideas through the use of these very free videos. So the first thing we do is the slacker. Now, the way that I learned the slacker is actually the alternative version of the slacker I discovered. The slacker, the original slacker, the initial slacker, was invented and made popular by a great improv team, Beer Shark Mice, with some incredible improv performers on there. So they made it, and it's a little bit different, but the version I'm going to teach you is kind of like the second version of the slacker, so I call it the alternative slacker. But let's get into it, and let's meet the players, or the cast members, that I'm going to use to teach you the alternative slacker. So let's meet the cast that I'm going to use to help talk about the slacker. This is the rainbow players, and their names are going to be their colors. So they are called green, pink, red, orange, blue, purple, and gray. Let's move on. So when you do the slacker, you start the scene, and whoever leaves the scene first, that's who the show follows. So it doesn't matter what the first scene's about and who's the character, who's dominant or status or whatever. When that first person leaves the scene, they then start the next scene. So the next scene starts and they're talking, and whoever then leaves that scene then moves on to start the next scene. Now they remain the same character. Like in this instance, that's one of the reasons I used colors. It's so that you can see the same performer starts the next scene, but also it's the same character that starts the next scene. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to only be two people. It could be like 4 or 5 people. But just the first person to leave that scene, then we follow the storyline of that character. And it doesn't have to be like 5 seconds later. It can be 10 years later or whatnot. It doesn't have to be in real time, and that's a decision you can make with your team about what are the rules that you want to follow. And then there's a lot of different ways to play with this. Like you can have, it doesn't have to be one person that leaves. It can be like 2 or 3 people that leave, and then you follow those 2 or 3 people to the next scene. And it doesn't just have to be human beings. It can be someone plays like a butterfly, and the butterfly's talking, and the butterfly leaves the scene, and now we follow that butterfly to the next scene. One of the most important things is whoever enters that next, so when the character leaves and they start the new scene, other players need to jump out and help them, because they don't have an idea of what that next scene's about. The other characters, so it's a lot of like entrances, not having an idea and just fully being in support. Another thing is you can do some crazy moves, like the one person will just run us across stage, or someone jumps in really quickly. They pretend to be a waiter, Jay Suko's favorite move, or they just pretend to jump in and say something really quickly, and then when they leave, because they're the first person to leave, you follow that character to the next scene. So there's a lot of really funny things you can do with this. But this is a format that typically follows a philosophy more than a set of scenes. And that's the basis of the slacker. So you can experiment, modify it to your best. And one thing I always encourage is to try new formats in rehearsal process, because that shows you a little bit more about the elements of your own format that you've chosen and how to capitalize on it. So that's the slacker. You might have heard me that's alternative slacker. I made the cartoon before I got all this research, so I have to make this amendment that's the alternative version. The original version of the slacker, I could do a video of that as well. The major difference being is that the players off stage tag out the players inside. Whereas this alternative version, the character inside, when they leave, you follow them. The original version is that your teammates from the outside tag out specific characters to then develop or get a deeper understanding of that original character. There it is. So it's free. I'm just trying to do this for fun. I'm just one person. I know there's several different ways to attack a format, several different theories and strategies out there. I invite all of them to exist, and it's better when there's diversity and the converging thoughts, because that creates new, bigger, and better things. So support the Improv Boost. If you want to like, share, comment on this video, that really helps me out a lot. But I think the most important thing is not sharing my video, but liking and following each other. If there's another improv team in your area, network, go see their show, like their page, share their posts. Even if there's one in another country, in another state, share and like their posts, because all of improv gets stronger if we all support each other. There needs to be more awareness, and more people will go to classes, more people will go to shows, and get improv strong by making it strong, but also by being strong in improv yourself. So yeah, support and follow each other. See ya.